Okay, listen, I know we just got 2 new Kirby games announced. One is DLC for one of the best games in this series, Forgotten Land, and the other is a sequel to a game that we've been waiting for over 20 years for, Kirby Air Riders. But despite all of that, I still find myself looking at April 27th, Kirby's anniversary, and the yearly event that the Kirby speedrunning community holds to celebrate K-Star, and thinking, oh boy, I sure wish people would give this video a like and subscribe to my channel, all the while ringing that notification bell so they can be notified whenever I upload videos. Oh, and also K-Star is the best Kirby-related thing to happen like every single year, and I love it! But I'm sure many of you are wondering right now, what is K-Star? If you want the technical answer, K-Star is the Kirby speedrunning time attack relay. Yuppers. The obvious follow-up question here being, what do those words even mean? Well, every year, close to Kirby's anniversary, the Japanese Kirby speedrun community hosts a relay race with over a dozen Kirby games. Various teams, both from Japan and overseas, come together and, with different runners for every game, try and beat all of them faster than the other teams. I've been participating in K-Star for 4 years now, and this year I am just as excited I am as any other. I actually have a very long, in-depth video about what K-Star 2024, last year's event, was all about. Please watch it. To this day, it is a personal favorite of mine on this channel. But, unlike last year, I would rather promote the event and build up some hype for it going in. We still have another week until that happens. While time zones complicate things, there is a link in the description that shows what time the event will be happening with time zones factored in. Regardless, the fun all starts on April 26th, 2025, with the ending coming to a close on the very next day, April 27th. So this is all well and good, but the real exciting parts are the core of K-Star itself. The runners, the games, and the memes. I can't really talk about them in this video because they haven't happened yet, but I mean, come on, it's K-Star. You know anything about it, you know how important those are. So that's what we're here to talk about today, the 13 Kirby speedruns being ran at K-Star 2025, all while highlighting the runners and setting the stage for the best Kirby event of the year. As someone participating, I'll be working extra hard to make sure that I am in peak condition for the race. I'll actually be streaming my game every single day leading up to K-Star, so again, something subscribe. Also, because I do genuinely love reading the comments so much, please tell me which of these games and or speedruns interest and excite you the most. Now, I love all of these, so any answer is a correct answer. Even though the only actual correct answer is Superstar Ultra. Let's get started! Starting off the entire relay is the newest game at the time of this recording. The Kirby run that kept us patient during the drought of no Forgotten Land DLC. The painful wait of a world with no sequel to Kirby Air Ride. Nintendo World Champions NES Edition? Yeah, this technically does count as a Kirby speedrun since one of the games included in this game is Kirby's Adventure. The idea is simple. All these runners need to do is clear every challenge for Kirby's Adventure as quickly as they can. Once they do, the baton can be passed to the next runner. The runners playing for NWC are Polka, Raikkonen, and Chia Candy for the Japanese, with Turtle RTA and Illegally Sam representing the overseas. With Polka and Raikkonen both being top runners for this category. Of course, for the full game, runners like Turtle also have experience under their belts, so this is going to be quite the interesting beginning to this event. And a breezy one too, with most of the runners estimated to finish in under 10 minutes. What kind of super long game is going to follow this one up? Well, of course, it could only be Kirby's Dream Land, the very first game in the series played for the very first 33rd anniversary of Kirby. Again, like NWC NES, this is a very simple category, an any percent playthrough of this classic title done on the normal mode version. Just get from beginning to end, and the runners are golden! This run is incredibly optimized, with things like manipulating the RNG and destroying bosses with bad breath, which is sadly being phased out for runners who manipulate the RNG. No, I did not take this news very well at all. The runners playing for KDL1 are Cabbage, Beetleborn, and Yoshi for the Japanese teams, while the overseas have Musiquil and probably Geo. The tag is probably Geo. I'm confident that it's definitely Geo. Ugh. All jokes aside, just like NWC, this is a lightning-fast category that should only take these runners slightly over 10 minutes, but it's still gonna be an insane watch. Even after a game as crazy as Adventure, we are not even close to hitting the brakes. But I know what you're thinking. If KDL1 was so good, why is there no KDL2? Thankfully, speedrunners, I really mean developers, but let me have this one, have got your back with Kirby's Dream Land 2 Any% being the next game of the relay. While the game does have somewhat of a negative reputation these days for having iffy levels filled with either total nonsense or total nothing, the Any% speedrun is an absolute blast, seeing experienced runners who really know what the game can throw at them fly right through it all. And I do mean fly right by. Both casuals and runners alike all know just how insane Ku is in this game. The runners playing for KDL2 are Kitsune Soda, Hotaru Kazuno, and Kumanomi for Japan, while Ryanair and Laugh 4 are here for the West. The Western teams certainly have an advantage here, with Laugh not only having second place on the leaderboards, but Ryanair literally having the world record, both being set within the last year. Of course, you can never count out the Japanese runners, and with the practice experience that they're inevitably going to have, oh boy, you already know, this one's also gonna be exciting. But I know what you're thinking. If Kirby's Dream Land 2 was so good, why didn't they make a Kirby's Dream Land 2? Well, good news, speedrunners, and by that I mean the developers, just let me have this one again, please, thank you, have got your back with the next game being Kirby's Dream Land 3. This is the first kinda long game of K-Star, and while it's gonna have a whole lot of Ku in it, the variety here is still commendable. Runners will be using Kine, Burning, Parasol, even Choo Choo throughout the entire run to ensure their victory. The runners playing for KDL3 are Tilly, Chochiku, and Yashi for the East, while Dark Realu 27 and Pro Hybrid will run for the West. KDL3, as a speed game, while risky for your thumbs, has a lot of neat tricks that give the game a strong sense of identity. In fact, I've been giving the inside scoop for a parasol trick, courtesy of the world record holder Dark Realu, that saves all of 1 second in a category that we're not seeing in K-Star this year. Truly, the speed game to end all speed games. But I know what you're thinking. If Kirby's Dream Land 3 was so good, why did... Okay, I'm just gonna stop it early here. The first time in years, actually, we don't have Kirby 64 at K-Star. Kinda hard to top what happened last year, I guess. I ain't gonna spoil what it is. You're just gonna have to watch last year's video that I made to find out. Anyway, to make up for that, we have one of the niftiest categories for a fan-favorite game. One getting an update with DLC coming to the Nintendo Switch too. Kirby in the Forgotten Land. This year we have the All Waddle Dees category. Basically, beat the game while rescuing every single Waddle Dee a long year away. The runners playing for Forgotten Land are Cog, Doripi, and Senkotsu for Japan. Yes, Cog ran for the West last year. He's honestly eligible to side with either team and is too powerful. We cannot stop him, it is too late! With the West having Planet Star Dream and Mario Max. While KDL3 was a fairly long category, with most runners estimating just over an hour, All Waddle Dees is our first long one, with the world record holder, which is actually Mario Max, having a time of just under 2.5 hours. We're in this one for the long haul, but with so many Waddle Dees requiring so many cool strats to rescue, it's gonna be a great time. Now, for those of you who watched the 2024 video, thank you so much, by the way, I have no idea how much that means to me. You may remember I kinda popped off over a very obscure favorite of mine, Kirby Superstar Stacker, making it in. And while my thoughts haven't changed on the game for sure, trust me when I say I was very surprised to see that it not only made it back for 2025, but it's the exact same category from last year too, that being Round Clear Very Hard. You're pleasantly surprised, of course, but a falling block puzzle game being a part of the speedrunning relay? For Kirby of all things? Yeah, I was not expecting that. A surprise, but a welcome one. The runners playing for Superstar Stacker are Hakuchu, Negitorox, and Mr. Senton for Japan, with Sony and Liney SR repping the West. World record Reineru didn't make it back this year, but with Negito holding second, not to mention all of the others having some pretty solid times, this will still be an highlight among highlights. It'll also be a nice, simple run after the long length of Forgotten Lands, although to be fair, it's not too short. Likely this one will be wrapping up a bit after the half-hour mark for each runner. With all of these games, we've had a great mix of old and new. But what if we had a game that had the old feeling to it, but also had a sequel coming out later this year, making its appearance this year, a completely accidental send-off to its legacy? Well, good news! Kirby Air Ride is being ran this year with one of the most unique categories seen at a larger Kirby event like this. Going by the name Machine Specified Time Attack, or MSTA, I don't know, runners will be forced to use certain vehicles for specific tracks and are tasked with beating them all. Except for Nebula Belt, who really cares about Nebula Belt. The runners playing for Air Ride are AR Cyril, Hachidori, and Tenkuoyuki on the Japanese end, while the Western end will have March 9th and one David J. All pretty historied runners of their own right, and I'm very excited to see how they perform in a brand new category like this. And I hope to see more weird stuff in future K-Stars along these lines. And obviously, as someone who does ability solo speedruns, I love me my weird, quirky categories. Of course, while we're all very excited for Kirby Air Ride, as well as Kirby Air Riders, we can't forget what the current newest game in the series is. Well, you can either say Forgotten Land or Dream Buffet, and kinda be right. The really correct answer is Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe, being represented this year by Magolor Epilogue All Stages. Similar to Magolor Epilogue's Any % run from last year, except you can't skip any of the optional stages. You gotta do everything. Stage-wise, you don't have to upgrade everything. The runners playing for Magolor Epilogue are Tank, Lemons, and Shiro for the Japanese, with Bomb Happy and Aiden running for the Westerners. As with many of these categories, there are a lot of history runnies here, and each of them having taken several cracks at the All Stages category. With a lot of effort, runners like this have gotten the world record down to under an hour, and it'll be super neat to see how many of them can get their time during the relay that low. Some of them? None? Maybe even all of them? Just gonna have to wait and see. So far, so good. All of these runs have been really exciting, and I'm sure that will continue into the next game. Now, don't you worry, I'm not leading you into a category that's actually super lame, just one that I've personally given some flack to in the past. That category is the Any % run for Kirby Triple Deluxe. They get from the beginning of the game to the very end. I'm not crazy about some aspects of this category, but others, like the Sunstone management, and especially the dominant ability, Fire, they're so much fun, you guys, and I am definitely super excited to see how these runners are gonna do. Just speaking of the runners playing for Triple Deluxe are Yamakyu, Doltra, and Susarua for Teams Japan, with Glitch Aston and Magic Man playing for Teams West. Another great lineup of runners, ones with a lot of patience. Triple Deluxe is not a fast category, taking just under 2 hours for the fastest runners in the race. Seeing who can break free of the 2-hour curse, as I'm sporadically deciding to call it, is one of the more interesting things going into this whole relay, to be sure. Alright, so all of these games so far have been pretty heckin' great. Kirby's great, K-Star is great, we all know this. So, when I say that these other categories are total small fry compared to the absolute GOAT of video games, you already know I'm talking about my favorite game ever made of all time, Kirby Superstar Ultra. After a few-year hiatus, it's finally back with the highest amount of entrants across both Japan and overseas, you know, the rest. Yeah, it's almost like the game is really good, and lots of people would play it if given the chance. Like, if it would get re-released or something. Wouldn't that be something? Wouldn't it? Anyway, the runners playing for Superstar Ultra are Clomi, the world record holder, Taka, the 4th place holder, Recon, the 3rd place holder, Mr. Shasta, the 6th place holder, and ayo, dash me baby, Klaire Fluffle, 12th place holder. Yuck. Well, I'm improving my PB constantly, so we can only hope I can improve it by 6 heckin' minutes at the very least. Yikes. The goal for everyone here is definitely gonna be sub 50, and we're all certainly good enough to do that. Except maybe me. Yuck, but I'm getting there, I promise. What's that? You want Puppy to let you in on a little secret? And also, I want to talk about Kirby Superstar Ultra more than all the other games? I don't know why you would want that. I know where I would want it, though. So here's something nifty. Thanks to the recent tasks from Sample, the video on that coming in May, by the way, I routed and am practicing Parasol strats for the first level of Dynablade. And while they're tough to get consistently and probably not relay safe, I've gotten within 5 or so seconds of what Clomi could accomplish in the world record run. That's not even a full year ago, by the way. So, yeah, I can't wait because Superstar Ultra is so good, and I love it so much, and I can play it forever, and I'm so honored to be chosen for it, and I love Parasol, and I love Jet, and... sorry, I just get really excited when Superstar Ultra comes up. Sorry, I just can't help myself. The game after that isn't letting us off easy, though. After any percenting Superstar Ultra, why not fully 100% Kirby Superstar? Yup, the Super Nintendo version can stand toe-to-toe with Ultra and have its own place at the relay. And yes, it will be a full 100%. All treasures in Great Cave, all abilities in Milky Way Wishes, and clearing all the game modes. No skipping Spring Breeze at this relay. The runners playing for Superstar are Sergeant Aimblaze and Hypa for the West, and Ruruka, Wami, and Risuo Tet for Japan. Unlike other categories where the world record is just under a certain amount of time, KSS Hundo is just over an hour, so pretty expectations. The interesting part here is gonna see who gets closest to that time. All of these runners certainly can do it, but as always, only time and practice will tell if they can actually pull it off. Oh, and of course, you know, it's KSS, so there's gonna be an absolute ton of jank. On the complete opposite end of jank, we have intentional jank. And unlike KSS, we have a very recent game on our hands here, that being Kirby Fighters 2. This was another one I was very surprised to see come back from last year, although the category kind of explains the details. Instead of story mode chapters 1 through 4 like last year, it's a full run of the darn thing, including chapter 5. The runners of this game last year, myself included after a while, kind of lamented the lack of chapter 5 because it has fighter and it's like really heckin' cool. Go watch my fighter copy ability spotlight to learn what makes it so busted in Kirby Fighters 2. The runners playing for Fighters 2 are Luke Aomi, Ikrin, and Azumina Wasabi for the East, while Manta and Beam Queen Soul have the West. Yes, 3 of these 5 runners played the game last year, and yes, this was my backup game if I couldn't get KSSU, so it was very close to being 4 of the 5 same runners from last year. This makes it a really interesting follow-up to last year's run, also while making the new runner stand out even more. Either way, this is another run that takes nearly 2 hours, so seeing who can take home the gold and who can beat it in under those 2 hours will be very exciting. And finally, last but most certainly not least, is a full 100% run of the normal mode of Kirby Nightmare in Dreamland, a wonderful complement to the beginning of this run, the game that Nightmare is a remake of, Kirby's Adventure. Thankfully, there's not much to explain when talking about Hundo here. Just get all of the secret switches while doing an otherwise any percent run, and the runners will be done. Of course, specific strats and stuff wind up varying compared to an any percent run, which makes a fun speed game even more interesting and exciting. The runners playing for Nightmare in Dreamland are Nuno Hanakati, Wakaza, and Miriri 6 closing out Japan, while Moxie and Aeropaws will close out for the West. Ending the relay will be a comfortable 45-ish minute run, one that's very fast-paced and will keep your attention, considering that the time that these are going to be taking place for really all of the runners, especially the Western teams, but Eastern as well. I say this is a really good thing. And with that, we only have one thing left to do, and that thing is wait for the event to happen. It's only a week away, but given the scope of the event, I can only hope the concept of time is kind and doesn't feel like it's gonna take way too long. It's definitely gonna feel like it's gonna take way too long, but for now, I've got some improving to do in Kirby Superstar Ultra. While I do that, I don't know, you live your life to the fullest or something. Be happy. I can't tell you how to do that. I can't tell you. Eat your vegetables. But I'd like to think that subscribing to the channel and watching my videos would help. And if you'd like to go the extra mile, please consider becoming a Puptrin on Patreon or a Mempup on YouTube. You get nifty perks, including exclusive content that could be about just about anything. You get nifty perks, including exclusive content that could be just about anything. Games, movies, anime, cartoons, behind the scenes stuff. Only one way to find out. Special thanks to my head-patting, Fluffle fan Puptrins and Mempups, Freakish Uproar, Lydia Scribe, Nightfall, Chris, and Arthur Legal 250V. I love you all! And I hope to see all of you at K-Star. It's gonna be so much fun. I can't wait to be a part of this great event once again. Well, bye-bye!